This episode of the podcast is brought to you by our partner, Audible.
Yes, it is. So we are partnered with Audible. That means that if you are looking just to check it out, you don't want to put your card in and just take the dive. You can get 30 days for free on us. If you go to audibletrial.com/JATG or click the link down below, you'll be taken there. You can sign up for 30 days for free and just test it out. Like there's a lot of stuff on there that you can get for free, a lot of Audible exclusives. But what I really like about Audible is that out of the hundreds and thousands of audiobooks that they have, if you decide to purchase something, that is yours forever. Like if you decide not to carry on your subscription or you want to take a break or whatever it is, you can always go back and listen to that book whenever you want through the app on the internet. Doesn't matter because it's yours. So once again, you can get that for 30 days for free on us if you go to audibletrial.com/JATG.
Boom. I believe we're live.
Sure.
Johnny and TheGreg. How are you today, Greg?
Doing all right. Surviving the time change.
Yeah. That's always a fun one. The time change. I'm a big fan of time change. When I say that, I'm not really a big fan of it. I don't think it makes sense anymore, but hey, whatever.
Well, and I think this is like where we're at now is what people want it to be. Like it should be this way always is what people that's what people think.
Yeah, there's something that's really depressing about the winter, and I think that time change really is a part of it because you wake up it's dark, you go to bed it's dark.
Mm-hmm.
And that sounds silly. That's not what I mean. Of course, you go to bed when it's dark, but I mean you wake up and it's dark, you come home and it's dark.
The arguments there are like if we got rid of it, right? And that's the opinion. We will just get rid of it. Well, that means in the dead of winter, the sun won't come up like for us in the upper Midwest. It's not going to get light out until like 9 o'clock.
How is that when we only jump an hour back?
Well, because you think about when it's the darkest here, where the sun comes up the latest in the year, like that's like almost like 7:30, 8 o'clock, isn't it? Close.
I think like
6:30
for me. Keep in mind, Greg, we're out of the both of us, who's the one that's up earlier?
I spent a lot of my career getting up before the sun, my friend. But
not recently.
No, definitely not, because you know what? I don't have to, and it's fantastic.
Anyway,
I recommend it for everyone.
I don't want to think any more than I have to, so I don't give a shit. I'm just throwing
it out there that's the argument is that this, like in the absolute dead of winter, the sun comes up very, very late.
Yeah. Sure. Oscars, my friend. Have you watching them?
Yeah, I kind of said I wasn't going to. Like, I didn't give a shit about the Oscars, and for the most part, I don't.
Yeah.
But I'm really enjoying watching my kids get into it,
react to it about it.
Yeah. Like my daughter, who pays attention to
all those things
and whatnot. She's a little starry-eyed. She was upset that she missed the red carpet because she was out running errands with her mom.
Oh,
and I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. I mean, you got to remember, I used to do like Oscar parties. Like we would get together and we'd all have our ballots. We would dress up. Actually, turn me on. That was a guy from our D&D group. I mean, I remember wore a tux like to one of his Oscar parties, and it was a big deal.
Yeah, my mom did all the hors d'oeuvres and all. Yeah, she did it.
It was fun.
I think back then it was special back then because I don't think there was a lot out for people to watch. There's that, and there was, I think, a real love affair with the movies. Whereas I don't know if there's a love affair anymore with them. Now, no, let me put this. You and I have already had our stance on how we feel about the Oscars. We definitely know how I feel about the Oscars. I hate the egos and the
Yeah.
the power people, the people that are tripping over themselves and power. I love the art form and I love
Yep.
the creativity of
Yeah.
movie making. I think it's fantastic. It
What
always
what
has been. It's always grabbed an imagination from me and has helped me expand. And it's just a great world to get lost in. It really
Mhm.
is.
It's kind of the only form other than athletics
Yeah.
where there's championship games and we get where you get to see someone who has worked their whole life to
Yes.
succeed at something.
Yes.
Um,
Good example. Jamie Lee
so
Curtis won Best Supporting.
yep,
Right.
I'm just going to bring them up. Yep,
Yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis, Ki Hu Kwan,
Yep.
who they won Best Supporting Actor and Actress,
Mm-hmm.
and they've been in the industry for a long time,
Yes.
and neither
And
one of
I'm
them have
really
ever
pulling.
won. And so, like, Ki Hu Kwan, his award was up first,
Yeah.
and he's up there, and he's just like he's not like openly weeping, but he's on the verge of it. Because
Oh, come
here's
on. That guy's had a great, all of us, like a comeback, like a
well,
John
that's what
Travolta comeback.
that's why I'm getting to. Thank you for
Yeah.
stealing my thunder, John.
You're welcome.
He came on the scene as a kid, and then he ducked back from acting because they're like, no one wants little Asian kids in American films. So he went into stunt choreography. He went into the other parts of the film business. And it was his old friend Chunk from the Goonies who said, dude, you've got some gas left in the tank. You should get out there and start acting again. And really encouraged him and helped him, because Chunk is now a lawyer, helped him do contracts and get an agent and do all this other stuff again. It was just cool. His acceptance speech was cool. And I liked that. I thought it was great.
Yeah. I think you and I are both in agreement. For best actor, we want Brandon Fraser to win it.
I most definitely do. Yeah.
Even though I've never seen that movie, I like that guy. And
I've seen enough clips.
Yeah.
One, to make me go, when I watch this movie, it might causing like open tears to just fall down my face, because
Okay.
I think it's going to be one of those films.
Okay.
Because the fatherhood plays a very central role in the film.
Okay.
And so, and from what I've seen, the clips I've seen, I was like, oh God, that's going to be intense.
Okay.
But yeah, he's my pick. I hope he wins.
And I think for best actress, we're hoping for Michelle Yee for Everything Everywhere All at Once. I think that's who I'm going for. I don't know about you.
Yeah, it's Michelle Yeoh.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think she would be my pick. I honestly can't.
There's Michelle Williams for The Fablemans. That girl seems to be always up.
Yeah. Yep. And she's won a couple.
And
before,
the Armas, who I am in love with in terms of an action,
Mhm.
the new action girl on the scene.
Yep.
I love she
Did you see her Marilyn Monroe movie?
No.
Isn't that what she's up for? Is blonde?
Is that blonde? Yeah. Is she Marilyn?
She's Marilyn Monroe. Yeah.
Good for her.
Yeah. It's on Netflix. I haven't watched it, but
Kate Blanchett for Tar.
Tar. Yeah.
And then Andrea Rosenborough. I don't know who that is. To Leslie. I don't.
We talked about her. She's the one that was kind of the sleeper nomination that some people were upset about. Honestly, I haven't seen most of those films. But I saw Everything Everywhere All at Once, and yeah, Michelle Yeoh gave an Oscar-worthy performance. So
yeah, I wonder if when she jumped into that, if they all jumped into that thinking it would go this far, or did they think, "Wow, cool movie, let's do it"? Right?
I think it was a cool movie. Let's do it.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, it's just everybody's taking everybody's attention.
Have you seen it?
Yes.
Because it is a strange film, like weird, like
completely weird. And when I say weird, I don't know about. There's some things that that's the perfect way to describe that movie. I like it, but it's weird.
Yeah. I mean, there are parts of the film you're like, that was awesome. That was heartfelt. What the hell is going on? And then you just move on.
Yes. Yeah. But Jamie Lee Curtis won Best Supporting Actress for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she
deserved. Yes. All right, my friend. As the Oscars are updating, I have it on the website here. I will let us know if any of you are up there. But I wanted to throw something real quick at you, Greg, and the people that are actually Packer fans out there. It's I read this on Twitter, and it just I want to know your opinion on the whole thing, and any Packer fan that's watching or listening. Again, any way you can contact us and just give us your thoughts. You can do it on YouTube on comments. You can do it on the I believe you can do it on our, we don't have an app, but we have a site
We know
at
we're on our Facebook
Podbean.
page. Yeah.
Yeah,
Also
and
on
a
Podbean,
Facebook
yeah.
page.
Yep.
So you have all these avenues. But this guy writes, he's Ken Mitchell. I don't know where he's from, but he got retweeted by somebody that I follow that says, expect Aaron Rodgers to step up and insert himself into the NFL storyline at around 10 a.m. Central tomorrow, because all big days must be about not the all big days must be about him, not the rest of the league. Free agency, it will be a cryptic announcement by the Prince of International Darkness or a leak. So if any of you who do not know, the NFL legal tampering starts at 11 a.m. And then so by tomorrow around noon or 1 o'clock, you'll figure out pretty much where all the big name free agents are going.
Now, what do you mean? What do you mean by legal tampering?
Exactly. Right now, it's when you can, because free agency doesn't start till Wednesday the 15th.
Mm-hmm.
But legal tampering means you can call them Monday at 11 a.m. and start giving your pitch on why they should join the team. Now, we all know they've been talking to them since February, but I guess this is just considered, it's in the bylaws, it's legal tampering. So tomorrow is going to be a big sports free agency NFL news day. And some guys saying, without a doubt, Aaron Rodgers is going to steal the thunder from everybody and say where he's going. My question to you is, A, where do you think he's going, Greg? B, do you want him? Are you sick of him? Do you just want him to go into a dark cave and just hang out there the rest of his life, or just go to another team and choke there? What do you want? What say you? As a Packer fan.
As a Packer fan, it's hard to say I don't care, because obviously I would. If he plays the way he played this year, I don't want him.
Okay.
Like just this past season, the big talk is that he's in cahoots with the Jets, with the Packers' blessing.
Yep.
And part of me goes, where have I heard this story before? Because it's the Brett Favre story. It's
ridiculous how it's almost mirrored itself.
Yeah. In which case he'll play what, a couple of years with the Jets, probably. and then get traded to the Vikings. And then the Vikings will go all the way to the championship game and lose. And then he'll retire.
It's eerie similar, because I remember a time when Brett Favre was, will he play, won't he play, will he play, won't he play, for about 3 years. And then they finally, on the third year, were like, dude, we're done. Get out of here.
Yeah.
And Aaron at that time was the sympathetic, I can't say this word, sympathetic figure.
He was, because we were like, is he going to play? Is he going to get a shot? I remember at the ESPYs that year, the award show, hosted by Justin Timberlake. And during his opening monologue, he looks at Brett. He's like, Brett, how you doing? What you been up to, buddy?
Yeah.
Huh? You've been playing a lot of golf. You've been doing that. And he goes, and here we go, Aaron, what, you waiting by your phone, waiting for it to ring, buddy? Wondering what's going to happen next year? And he just calls it out in front of the entire sports world.
Yeah.
That's kind of it's history repeating itself.
It really is. And now I think for the last couple of years, you've been hearing about life is a beautiful mystery and all this stuff. And it's, will he, won't he, will he, won't he type of bullshit.
And I put up, not that I have any real say in this, but I put up with it while he was playing well. It's like, you're playing okay. Yeah. You know what? Do your ayahuasca and grow your hair out and wear stupid clothes and, do all your new age bullshit. Whatever, man. You're making passes. That's all I care about. You're playing well. When he's not playing well, I'm like, get this guy out of here. Like, I am done with it. Like,
yes. Okay. So I guess
on a personal level, I'm sick of his bullshit. I'm sick of the drama. I would like to see Jordan Love come out and be an awesome quarterback.
Yes, I would not like to see that. I'm tired of 30 years of you getting quarterbacks, and the money says, the odds say you will not get 3 in a row. That won't happen.
Right.
Um, but who knows? It's only yeah.
We've got a pretty good running game.
Well, and that's the thing. I think without Rodgers there, I think the offense will run the way LaFleur wants it to run.
Yes.
Okay.
I think
and from what I understand, this offense is idiot proof. Which means it's not centered around the quarterback. It's I think it's more centered around a running game than it is anything else. And it is idiot proof. I mean, it's the same offense that San Francisco runs, and it didn't matter this year who they plugged behind as quarterback. They fucking went all the way to the NFC Championship game with that offense. So anyway, I was just curious how Packer fans felt. Like, are you done with them? Do you want them out of there?
I haven't talked to a lot of people this week. I mean, I didn't get out of the house much. I was working a lot, whatever. So I don't know like where my friends are at, and I didn't listen to Wisconsin radio much, so I don't know what those guys are feeling, but I can tell you in previous weeks, the conversations I've had are a lot of people are like, they're feeling like it's time to move on. They're feeling like it now's a good breaking point. Now, if he goes to the Jets and absolutely dominates, I don't know how they're going to feel about that. I don't know how I'm going to feel about that. I would be shocked if that was the case.
Oh, really? I think he's going to go out there and ball, because a motivated Aaron Rodgers probably pretty. Do
you think he can? Like, I mean,
yes. He doesn't have to carry a team. He just has to convert third downs.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know what? If that's the case, if that's what happens, I'm going to go, okay.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
So I was just curious. Sometimes if somebody, I heard a sports announcer, because a lot of times they talk about the quarterback and the organization is like a marriage, and you have to be okay with the person you're divorcing. If you're going to divorce them, you have to be okay with them dating somebody else.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's a situation like that. So anyway, I was just curious about that. Anyway, I wanted to talk to you about something because I want to see if I'm wrong here or not. And I hope my girls are listening. And when I say my girls, I'm talking about Jen and Farah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This is the first time we actually I don't want to say a fight. We got in an argument. And I want you to guess on what it was about, Greg. What are they very passionate about when it comes to me?
Your name?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they are. So for those of you that do not have a background in this history, when I have 2 best friends, besides Greg, of course, I have 2 best friends from high school that are both girls. And and in high school, I was John. Okay. And when I went to college, I looked at it as an opportunity to reinvent myself. So I started introducing myself to everybody as Johnny. And from that point on, I've been Johnny. I haven't been John.
Yep.
So, Greg, have you ever experienced any type of, I don't know, a little rough around the edges when you've mispronounced my name in front of them?
I didn't mispronounce it. I mean,
right.
And I'm ambidextrous on this case. I can go for John or Johnny, but my natural be like Johnny. I mean, like if I got excited, I mean, that's just what I go to. And yeah, there was a time we were all hanging out and they're like, his name is John. And I went, yeah, it is Johnny. And they're like, no. His name is John. They're like, you call him Johnny. His name is John. He was John all growing up. And I was like,
yes. They protect that name.
Yeah.
I've never seen before in my life.
Like, I think for a little bit, I started to just call you John when they were around
to make them happy.
No,
because you didn't want to deal with the drama.
Because I didn't want to deal with the drama of it. I'm like, I don't want to rehash this again. So I just be like, John, and then because you respond to either, it didn't really matter.
Right.
But my kids, like, you're Johnny to my kids.
Right. Well, I think I'm Johnny to Ursula. I'm Johnny to. I asked Gwen, what's Daddy's name? She says Johnny. Like,
yeah.
nobody else knows me other than basically the people that went to high school with me at John. And
Yeah.
like, what's funny is I have other friends from high school that I still talk to. They don't get pissed. They don't care.
No. Well,
They don't care.
and why would you? I mean,
Yeah.
it's
But it's just something fun for them to hold on to. But anyway, we got into an argument and they asked me, oh, because I signed it was their birthdays fall in March. And so we all got together and kind of had a little birthday dinner with them. And I signed the cards, John. And I said, I signed that to make you guys happy. It's your birthday. And they're like, and then Farrah goes, why did you ever name yourself Johnny? Why did you do that? And I told them, look, back in high school, back when I was going into college,
Mhm.
okay, I thought my goal was totally going to be sitting in a tux tonight at the Oscars. That I thought
Yep.
that was my career life path. I thought I was
Yep.
going to be a movie star. And I thought, what's a better, catchier name than Johnny Angel in the movies?
Yep.
Okay. Not John Angel, Johnny Angel. So I said I started introducing myself as Johnny because I thought
Yeah. It
I was going to be a movie star. Like that was my point.
Stage-ish name. I mean, because it's your real name, but
Yeah. And so, and believe me, when I first freshman year, when you're at all these parties and they say, what's your name? And you say Johnny Angel, do you know how many girls that like gave me an extra
yeah,
5 minutes
it
to talk to?
was ridiculous.
Yeah. So I wasn't going to let that go. I was a freshman. All these girls were like giving me an extra 5 to 10 minutes
yeah.
just because they found out what my name was. Anyway, moving on. So they asked me, why'd you do that? I told them. And
Mhm.
so Farrah's like, what, you want to be like Johnny Depp or something? I said, I wouldn't have minded his career. I don't know if I would have.
Maybe not his personal life as much, but
Right. But I'd be okay with that career. And I said, just they go, well, why couldn't you just be John? I said, name me a movie star that is John. And they started throwing out names. And I'm like, not a movie star, not a movie star. Actor, they've been in
yeah.
movies, not a movie star. And so the only one that Farrah got was John Wayne. I was like, okay, you got me. You got me with John Wayne. Jen brought up John Cena. I said, no, not a movie star. And she goes, yes, he is. I go, no, he's not. I think
No.
you're confusing what a movie star is and what an actor is.
Correct.
He's in a movie, he acts, but he is not a movie star. And she goes,
No.
oh, well, if you're just going to change the rules on us all of a sudden, I said, oh, I never changed it.
Yeah.
I said
No, I
movie
wouldn't.
star. Can you
He's
think
a-
of one? Because you're very good at this. Can you think of a movie?
It's borderline. And I think he was more star when he was on a TV show. I would have went with John Hamm.
Okay, yeah, that's about it. Mad
But
Men, right? But movie,
but
no.
that was like his peak was Mad
Yeah,
Men.
you're right.
He's not carrying a movie all on his own right now.
That's my point. And that's when they said, so what's a movie star, John? I said, someone that carries the movie.
Yeah. Like you go see the movie based on their name.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a movie star. Like that's and you and I have had this conversation that all actors can be movie stars. Not all movie stars I would consider to be an actor.
Correct.
Because they have a presence, they have the ability to act. Marshall just said John Travolta.
Good one.
That
was brought up, and there was a time he was a huge movie star.
Yeah.
Yes.
As an actor, no.
Yes.
John Travolta is John Travolta in every film.
He does. Yes.
Unless he's trying to impersonate Nicolas Cage. But that was not a great impersonation. So yeah, I don't know. I guess I can't think of another John that's big.
Right. And
now.
that was just my point. It wasn't catchy. And it just came out. I didn't really put a lot of thought into it. They just put me against the wall and said, hey, why did you switch?
Why did you change?
I'm like, because I did that. But anyway, but I just thought that was funny.
I think part of the click for them is because you went from what's considered to be the more grown-up adult version
right
to the more teen version.
Yes.
But given your philosophy of it, that makes sense.
Right.
Like Brad Pitt, who is both a movie star and I believe an actor. Like
I agree.
he gets the Venn diagram of both. He didn't, when he became an actor, he didn't change his name to Bradley
Correct.
in order to give himself more adult clout or anything like that. Or he's not credited anymore as Bradley Pitt. He's
Right.
just Brad Pitt.
Just Brad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So I just wanted to, I just thought that was hilarious because they got hooked on the idea that I was like, not a movie star. And they're like, what about this guy, John this? I'm like, not a movie star.
Sometimes you just need to have a Coke and a smile and shut the fuck up.
I guess so. But we were
love you both, but
yeah. But anyway, that'll be fun if we bring that back up, which we probably will at your
I'm sure it'll come up. Yeah. My daughter's graduation party. There's a screaming match in the back corner.
Yeah. It's not a movie star. Oh. All right. Anyway, do we have any updates on the Oscars?
I don't know.
Here?
I don't know. What do you got?
I am looking here.
What do you want? That's it doing live updates.
What am I on? Oh, just Google.
Oh.
Original score, All Quiet on the Western Front. Best documentary, short subject. I don't know the difference. The Elephant Whisperers. Best animated short film, The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse is the winner. Best international feature film, All Quiet on the Western Front. I have a feeling that one's going to get everything.
It's
Best costumed, huh?
It's a great film. Like I watched it. It's on Netflix. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it.
Did you read the book? Did you ever have to read the book?
Oh, I had to read the book. Yeah. Yes. That was my time in my life. I was not a fan about reading, like To Kill a Mockingbird, A Wrinkle in Time. I couldn't get behind any of those books. I just yeah. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever won best costume design.
Best costume design, yes. I saw
best
that before.
Makeup and hairstyling went to the Whale.
The Whale.
Best cinematography, All Quiet on the Western Front. Live action short film, The Irish Goodbye.
Sure.
Best documentary featurette, Neville.
Yeah.
Then we got supporting actress, supporting actor, best animated film. I called this one. Del Toro's Pinocchio.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked on that one actually, but
I'm not. That's hard to do.
The Pinocchio story to me is not one I ever want to watch, so I avoided that one.
Did you think did you see the Sea Beast?
I did.
Like these were the other nominees for best animated film.
To me, that should not have been nominated.
The Sea Beast, I agree, it wasn't that good.
It wasn't that good. Turning Red was good.
Are we talking about good story or good animation?
Well, I think it's got to be both.
I would agree, but I don't know if that's what they go off of. That's all I'm wondering.
That's one they take as a whole. Is the animation good? Is the story good?
Okay. Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. I've never seen it nor heard of it.
I know I think it's it's animated, but it's more of an adult concept. Not that it's an adult film, but just the concepts of it.
Okay.
And I didn't watch that one either.
Okay. And Puss in Boots. The
Last
Wish.
That was good.
So
for me, Turning Red should have won, but
okay.
That's just my opinion.
Just your opinion. Anything you got on your plate?
Like what?
Like topics to talk on a podcast?
I don't know. Not a ton going on around me. I've just been
I think I'm getting pretty old to where I don't care about the NCAA tournament anymore.
Yeah, like I looked today because I'm like, that's starting. Like college tournaments or like the conference tournaments are done.
Yes, those are going on.
Marquette, which is a Wisconsin-based school, is they're the number 2 seed in their bracket.
Right.
And I'm like, good for them. I've never liked Marquette. Like when I think of the home team, Marquette is not even in the discussion.
You think Badgers?
I think Badgers. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know that people are very different in that, but when I was starting to pay attention to sports and starting to pay attention to like college basketball, um, I remember Marquette, they had like this rash of like bad behavior by their students.
Oh, did they?
There were riots where they were like tipping cars over and setting them on fire, and just unsportsmanlike conduct, we'll say. And this was like in the 90s. So I very early just adopted that fuck those guys kind of mentality.
Have you always been a
That,
Boy Scout, Greg?
no, not at all.
So you were a bad guy.
But
Was a bad guy getting boxers instead of briefs? Was that your bad phase?
yeah, maybe no. Um,
I'm serious. I'm serious. Have you ever like done a bad thing?
Yes.
I kind of don't. I guess moms, truly, if you're listening, this is your time. What's the worst thing Greg ever did that got him? Like, how was the longest you got grounded? Did you ever think, oh my God, they're gonna kill me?
Yeah, a couple times. Yeah.
Did you burn something and try to hide it? Like, did you burn
wrecked a car? Wrecked a car and lied about it. We don't need to go into the whole story, but
why?
Because
in trouble. You're gonna get in trouble.
Maybe. I don't know what the statute of limitations is on some of those crimes.
I think when you can actually look your parents in the eye and say, "No, I'm not going to pay for that," you're good.
Yeah. Still not going to go into details. So there's, I got. For me, the biggest trouble I ever really got into was, or like the most regular amount of trouble I got into was, curfew was one. I broke curfew a lot because I was not out causing trouble. I was just at somebody's house watching movies, or like just before I graduated, I was at my buddy's house playing Dungeons and Dragons. But I know.
Devil's Bible,
Satan's game. But there was a time when I was in high school, because there's not a lot going on in Little Broadhead, Wisconsin. So you'd hang out downtown and just either drive up and down the one street, or there's a park that is right off the main street where you park your car and you just sit there and talk to anybody walking by. And my parents didn't like that. Like, they were like, no, you don't need to hang out downtown causing trouble. Like, we're not causing trouble. We're just sitting down in the parking lot. But they were hearing about
smoking, drinking,
rumors of drugs being sold at the park. Or there was one, I remember, it was like the town had put up these nice planters around the sidewalks, and some planters got overturned. And that was like, well, see, it's those kids causing all this trouble. I'm like, that happened at like 4 a.m, or like at bar time or whatever it was.
Yeah.
That's not happening at 9-10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Because the town had a curfew. Like, you had to be in by 11. So I was mostly home by then, but if I was caught walking around downtown, then I got in trouble. And I get grounded for a week, which was, you're not allowed to go anywhere, but I could still have my friends over.
Oh,
okay.
If
I'm
I'm
in my house, then
thinking as a parent now, it's probably they didn't think you were doing it. They didn't want you to get in trouble being associated with it.
Associated around it, whatever it was.
Yeah.
I've told you this before. My grandpa was a cop. I couldn't get away with jack shit. I mean, there was no, my opinion at the time is like, my parents had unjust limits on me because I had done nothing to prove that I couldn't handle what was going on. I wasn't doing anything. I got in a couple fights like when I was in middle school.
Right.
One kid I injured, not just hurt, but he was injured.
What'd you do to him?
Broke his nose or cracked his nose or something like that. And that was, come to find out later through my grandpa, who was a cop, this kid was getting bullied like every day on the way home from school. And so his mom, when he comes home with a broken nose, And mom's like, who did this to you?
Greg Struley.
And she said, Greg. And she's like, well, we're going to the cops because they've been bullying you way too much. And the kid actually was like, different guy. Like, he's not following me home and bullying me on the way home. So the kid who I just knocked out saved my ass by telling his mom, nope, different guy. And I think the cops were there.
So why'd you beat him up?
He told me to. Yeah.
He
Yeah.
told you to beat him up.
In a manner of speaking, yes. So it was lunchtime football, right? They had like this place where we were supposed to be playing two-hand touch, and we play football. And it was usually most of the athletic kids on one side, most of the non-athletic kids on the other side, because this was middle school in the 80s. And that was it. You know, one guy passes the ball, you try to run it around, blah, blah, blah. And there was one old lady out there as the monitor, making sure we didn't tackle each other for safety reasons.
All right.
Okay. And I don't remember how exactly the game went, but this kid was mad about something. And so I'm walking back to the door and I'm like, dude, whatever, piss off. Like, just get away from me. And he's like, oh, you think you're so tough? And I'm like, in this case, yes, I am. Like, just leave me alone. And I remember he grabs me by the shoulder. He turns me around. He's like, you think you're so tough? Why don't you just go ahead and hit me?
Oh.
And I went, okay.
Okay.
And in my mind's eye, it was uppercut. Just, bear pawed him, hit him in the nose. And I remember hearing that slapping, like that skin on skin. But then I heard a crack.
A snap.
And blood shot up my arm. Like, because his nose went bleh, and
yeah,
I had blood on my knuckles, and it kind of went up my forearm, and he dropped like a stone, and I went
like, oh, this day's gonna get interesting.
Yeah, and I just kind of went, oh shit. I mean, like, everything slows down. His name was Kurt. He falls to the ground, and he's holding his nose, and he's just, he's crying. His eyes are watering. And he's just like, meh. One other kid comes up and he's like, why did you do that? I'm like, he told me to. And
he more or less dared you to. He didn't tell you to.
Yeah, it was, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, great. Now I'm a bad guy because
you are.
Yeah. And it was, and the size comparison here, like, he was tall, but he was very skinny, like super skinny. I was not. And so I remember we go to the principal's office. My dad was a janitor, so they, called Jim down. We got his, oh, no, he wasn't there. We go to the principal's office and they're like, what happened? And I said, well, explain the situation. And Kurt's sitting next to me. And I said, he told me to hit him. So I did. And the principal goes, okay, turns to the other kid. How do you think it went? He goes, just like that. Okay. My dad was working the late shift because they had to have someone at the middle school work like the night shift. So dad came in at like 2:30 or 3, and he worked till like 10 or 11. So dad was still at home because this happened over noon hour. So the principal, well, the principal's son was in my class too. So I knew the principal. He calls my house. He's talking to my dad. Hey, Jim, I got your son in here, and we're going to have to suspend him for a day for fighting. And I was like, oh. So I walk home because I only lived like 2 blocks away from the school. Dad's like, okay, you're grounded. I'm like, yeah. He's like, go get all your comic books. You're going to lose those for a while. Oh, man. So I go get my, stack of comics, and I give them to dad. Secretly, I kept about 3 or 4 of my favorite ones, and I stuffed them under the mattress so I could read them. And I was grounded for TV from TV. That lasted about a night because it was just too hard to, like, where was I going to go? We only had one TV. So I was like, what am I going to do?
In your room, in the dark, sit on your hands, think about what you did.
Yeah, maybe. No, that didn't work. So then the TV thing lasted about a night. The big thing was, like, mom calls home because she was working and dad picks up the phone. Mom's like, hey, whatever she had to call home for. And she asked dad, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm sitting here with your son who got suspended. And she thought it was my brother. So she goes, oh, what did Curtis do? He goes, nope, your other son, Greg. Greg got suspended. I mean, she was all shocked.
Okay, that's my point.
Yeah,
she was shocked. That's my
she
point.
was shocked. Yeah.
So this is probably, it sounds to me like this is the worst thing you've ever done.
No, but I'm not going to talk about the worst thing I ever did on here.
I just don't think. I think we've just throughout this story, throughout what we've talked about here, there's nothing else you've done that's that bad.
I didn't do a lot. I mean, I got into a couple fights, but none of them.
Did you ever want to, Greg? Did you ever want to?
Yeah.
Did you ever want to do a really bad thing?
Sure.
Like what? What's one thing you wanted to do that was really bad?
Oh, I wanted to get into more fights. Like,
oh, you wanted to fight.
I wanted to fight. I wanted to hurt people. Like,
ooh.
like pull out the baseball bat and jack somebody up, kind of hurt people.
Oh, you want to commit murder?
Sure.
Really?
No, but main
because
people.
I just found out that Jenny watches all the murder shows. She'll tell you exactly how to get rid of it.
Exactly how to do it. I mean, there were like vandalism to people like that crossed my mind a lot. Like
bashing out a guy's car or something.
Yeah, like the bullies that I had in high school. Like, how do you really take air out of somebody's tires? How do you like really jack somebody's car up
with a big knife?
Well, and I'm like, well, no, that's actually not, because if you puncture a tire, that's like 36 pounds of pressure in there. They explode back out on you. So I'm like, okay, so I know that's not it. How do we do these other things, like keying somebody's car, doing like property damage? That all came into my head, but I never did it.
I think the worst thing I've ever done was shoplift the G.I. Joe.
Oh, I had some light fingers
at Kmart. Yeah. I got caught. That's the worst illegal thing I've ever done. Criminal activity right there. I got in trouble walking around with a big knife because I thought I was Rambo when I was 8. Like I came out, you come out of the forest.
Yeah.
A fucking knife.
Do you remember the candy now and laters?
Yeah, of course.
So we used to go to the corner stop and go.
Yeah.
And me and my friend we'd load up our pockets with now and laters, like the little packs.
Yeah.
And then take them to school and sell them for $0.25 a piece.
Really? People bought them?
Yeah. Other kids would buy. And
that was good. You made some money?
Yeah. For about 2 or 3 days, maybe. Until you go, I'm eventually going to get in trouble for stealing candy.
Oh, you were stealing it?
Oh, you were stealing it. Yeah.
Oh, it didn't sound like you were stealing. It sounded like you bought it and then went over there and
we would buy a couple because we thought that was a good cover. Like, fill up your pockets when the lady isn't watching. And then you buy like 4 of them. And then you'd walk out and then you'd sell the rest or something like that.
Wow. You hear that, Miss Julie? Your son was a thief.
Yeah, I got caught.
And a bully.
Yeah, I had some light fingers. I remember, I think in 3rd grade, I took a kid's garbage pail kids because he had a big stack of them.
I remember those.
And he was, I didn't like the kid. Had nothing to do with the cards. It's the kid I didn't like. And he left them, like when you were in elementary school and everybody had like where their coats would hang up, like outside the classroom.
Yeah.
And he forgot them, like where you put your hat and stuff up top.
No, so you just took them.
And so he forgot them there. And I saw him there for like 2 days. Like, he's not taking those home. He's not taking those home. So then I was like, oh, I'll just grab them. So I grab them and put them in my backpack. And then I think I looked at them somewhere. And someone was like, "Hey, we know a kid that was missing a giant stack of Garbage Pail Kids." And I was like, "Nope, different pack. These are mine." And then it came out that, oh yeah, totally was this kid's. So
Greg stolen.
yeah, I got in trouble for that. My mom's not here. I'm very disappointed in you for not sharing those. Yeah, you didn't share shit with your parents that you did wrong either.
Yeah, probably not. I stole Storm Shadow from a guy named Daryl.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he had it. I wanted it. He put it in his backpack and he walked away. That was my time to strike.
Yeah.
And I did. And let me just say, I had a lot of great adventures with Storm Shadow.
We had some good times.
Yeah, never felt bad about it.
You imagine if like Toy Story was real and like a stolen toy is just like,
oh yeah,
what's going on? Oh,
Yeah.
wait, where?
Yeah. I treated him good though. Storm Shadow was treated good.
Yeah.
He was the enemy that never got beat because he was an awesome character. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had some light fingers for a little bit. And then at some point, I don't know when, I was just like, oh, I gotta stop doing that.
Yeah. Gwen's at that age now where she's telling us she did something wrong after she did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder how long that's gonna last.
Yeah.
Like we told her not to look it apart.
She's like,
and then at the end of that part, she goes, Mom, Dad, I looked. I was like, okay, well, I guess no. Now we know we just can't.
Shut your eyes.
We just can't play this then. But yeah. So are you did you see any good movies this weekend? I didn't. And but I saw a movie. I didn't see it wasn't good though.
I mean, Scream came out.
Oh,
and I thought my oldest would want to go see that. She's like, I haven't seen any of the other. Well, she saw the first one, but she's like, I haven't really watched any other ones. So no, we didn't see anything. We're waiting for Shazam to come out.
Dungeons and Dragons and
So Shazam comes out next weekend.
Okay.
So yeah,
that's a one on the. I for some reason I don't care to watch that. I think I can wait.
I understand. I mean, the first one I was really pumped up for, and I still like it.
Yeah,
but if it was a run out to the megaplex to see,
yeah,
I wouldn't have liked it as much as going to my hometown theater.
That makes sense. Experience. Yeah, you have an advantage that I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess I could always drive up there, but that's a lot. That's a long way just to see a movie.
It is, yeah.
So,
but me, you also get to see me.
You mean in the dark?
No, like we can hang out afterward.
I see you now.
We can get
looking
lunch.
Right at you, man.
We can get lunch or something.
Oh,
go get some eggs. I don't know.
Never seems to work that way.
Probably not. But
anywho, yeah. So
what did you watch?
Oh God, that stupid movie with Jennifer Lopez and Josh Duhamel.
Yeah, we watched that. We watched it when it came
horrendous. That's horrendous. And there was a part in the beginning where she's trying to get him to come and sleep with her.
Yeah.
And he's too busy gluing pine cones or something or pineapples together or something like that.
Doing the centerpieces of
I thought that was such bullshit. I'm like, okay, if she flips up that shorts like she did.
Yep.
I'd be like, forget it. These can wait. The glue's got to dry anyway.
Every guy would do that. That was
yeah. And I was wondering, if that's in her
contract.
Yes, to do a sexy scene, but don't do too much of a sex. Just show stuff.
Just show off a curve or two.
Yes. I wonder if that's in the contract somewhere.
I don't know.
I wonder how we could get a hold of contracts like that and just see what some of these silly clauses are.
That's true. That would be interesting. And this brought to mind, I did watch a movie this weekend.
All right.
We watched Megan.
Oh,
the Android.
Yes.
The Blumhouse Android. I mean,
you've seen it before, right?
Seen it before.
Different model.
And my kids were watching it with me.
Isn't it called Chucky? Isn't that called Child's Play? Haven't we seen this?
It would have been, yeah. and I understand, like, Blumhouse is just cranking out these kind of horror films. Like,
Yeah.
they're not putting a ton of thought into these scripts. It's just churn and burn.
Yep.
So I'm like, oh, and they introduced like an almost like a labor robot early
Okay.
in the film that mimics your movements. I'm like, that's going to come into play later. Sure enough, it does.
Came into play. Yeah.
And there's a couple like Megan. All of a sudden, you're like, oh, the lights keep playing. Megan's software now. She's not just hardware. That's going to come in later. Totally comes in later.
Yeah.
To the
It's
point where
predictable.
yeah, it's very the
I don't mind I don't mind movies that are predictable. Like that's okay with me as long as it's a good movie. It doesn't bother me. Like I know that bothers some people that you knew what was going to happen. Well, do you really think John Wick's going to die? Like
yeah.
I mean, you know he's going to survive this.
They do kill one kid in this film.
Yeah.
That we were both like, oh,
and in the way that they did it,
you're like, that was gruesome. Like I didn't see that coming.
Okay.
And neither did he. So
that was like, bum.
Yeah. So that was interesting. So I was like,
okay.
Oh, they're pushing the envelope a little bit there. But at one point, you know, the big robot's got Megan, the little robot, holding her up by one leg. I'm like, oh, just tear her apart. Sure enough. I'm like, oh, okay, there you go. So, and she wasn't dead after that because she's an android. You can't just separate the top half from the bottom half, expect it to be dead.
You know, we saw too, but we didn't get into it because Gwen woke up from her nap. We were starting to watch Ambulance, that Jerry.
Oh yeah,
that Michael Bay with Jake.
Any good?
Gyllenhaal. Actually, it is.
But
it's not. It's weird. It's fine. It's good. It's probably around Cocaine Bear. Like you're watching it, you're like, this is totally Michael Bay, and he is in love with the drone shots in this movie. And you know, and it's you can, I don't know. It didn't, you didn't want to like stop it. You just were like, all right, how's this gonna end? All right,
we're gonna turn it off.
All right, she's cool. How's this go? Oh, damn it, she woke up. All right, we gotta pause this because it is pretty intense, and it gets intense right off the bat. And of course, Mike, for everybody that wants to know, Michael Bay's dog's in it. He's there. Do you know who his dog is?
No.
The big damn Mastiff.
Really?
That is like 3 or 4 movies of his. He has this big damn Mastiff. Just
okay.
Remember Bad Boys, the second one where they got the pool and the dog tore the pool? That's his real dog. Yeah. I guess Martin Lawrence was scared the shit out of that thing.
If you gotta add a dog to the film, I guess.
Yeah. Actually, he didn't even need to. He just does it.
Well, he's Michael Bay.
Yeah. Yeah. Anywho, man, that's it. We don't.
That's it. Yeah.
Actually, one thing. Maybe this might prolong the podcast. Do you think? I think I sent you this a long time ago, and it made sense to me. Do you think it's time to change our jury duty system?
Yes.
Like that, we should have professional people.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like the whole jury of your peers.
Yes.
Like, I've met some of my peers. They know dick about the law.
Right. Exactly.
So no, I think that should be a profession.
I agree.
Like you are
a professional juror.
Yeah. Like you are educated in the law enough to be impartial on any case.
Yes.
And you have this pool of people.
Like maybe people that didn't pass the bar.
I don't know. Like someone who wants to be a part of the legal system.
Yeah.
But for some reason doesn't want to be a prosecutor or a defense attorney. But, and you offer, this should be a high paying job.
Yes, absolutely. It needs to be a high paying job.
Yep.
I agree.
And that's, you set the standards, you set the what is the education level. And then those are the people that get to hear and judge cases. Because
Yeah.
I mean, I've been called in for jury duty,
So have I.
and some of those people that they were selecting, you're like, you're a crackhead.
Well,
Like,
not only that, usually when I got pulled in, I was unemployed. And when I went to get
okay,
unemployment, that's what they got me.
yeah,
Right. So, but what I was astonished with was how bad nobody's happy about going to jury duty.
right.
Like nobody's ecstatic about that. So you want to get in and get out as fast as possible. So you
Mhm.
don't really, you're not invested if this guy's going to jail or not. You're just like guilty, so we can go the fuck home. Like
Yeah.
you don't care, and that's not how it should work.
Yeah.
It
And that's
definitely needs to be someone that could sit there and go, okay, my decision could screw up somebody's life here, so I need to
take it
like,
right back to 12 Angry Men. Like
yeah,
I mean,
yes,
there are plenty of people, characters in that play or that movie where they don't give a shit.
yeah. They just
They
want
don't
to go
give a
home.
shit about the guy. They just want to go home.
Yeah,
And you're like, or someone who's on a power trip
yes,
and wants to see somebody burn,
yeah,
wants to be responsible for that, or a racist who's on
yes.
who's in the jury, like, I want to see this guy go to jail just because he's black or he's
Right.
Mexican, whatever it
Yes,
is.
exactly.
So you need to, I think people who are 100% vetted and educated in the legal system, those are the people that should be on jury duty.
I agree. Yeah. What do you guys think out there listening to us? Should the current jury duty system be completely overhauled for professional jurors, if you will? Let us know in the comments below or on any other platform that you watch us on or listen to us or things like that.
Be a
So,
part of the conversation.
yeah. So anyway, I think that's it. That's where we'll end it.
Yeah.
That's good. Let me do a refresh real quick. See if anybody got any on anybody won any big ones here.
It looks like Avatar won for special effects.
Yeah.
Okay.
All Quiet on the Western Front won best production design and best adapted screenplay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, I'm sorry, that who won that one was Woman Talking by Sarah Polley. Visual effects. Yeah, you already said original score. All Quiet on the Western Front. So I'm assuming this thing's just
it's taking more than I thought it would. Yeah,
dominating the Oscars. Yeah. All right. Cool, man. Let them go with what we usually do.
Yeah. So if you're happy about the Oscars, if you're waiting to see what's happening with the NFL this week, just remember that everybody's got their opinions and don't be a douche.
There you go. For the Greg, this is Johnny saying take care. Have a great week. Podcast out. See you later.